Steel is becoming more and more important in building of all kinds, but you might not know the best way to cut steel, and that's what I want to show you right now. It's a blade system, carbide blades, that actually cuts through steel like a chop saw would cut through wood. It makes clean cuts, the cuts are burr-free, and they're almost perfectly cold, even right after the cut. The trick to making this happen on your own projects is the right kind of saw, and more importantly, the right kind of blade. The models made especially for cutting ferrous metal come in a range of sizes. This is a 7 1/4 inch blade to fit in any handheld circular saw. Then you can go all the way up to 14-inch monsters, like this one here, that's meant to fit in a metal cutting chop saw. You can't use these kind of blades in regular chop saws because they spin too fast. The maximum RPM on this blade is 1800, about half as much as the speed of a regular wood chop saw. You take a close look at one of these ferrous metal blades, and it looks pretty much like a fine-tooth cross-cutting blade like you'd use for wood. But the difference is the composition of the carbide. It can chew through metal hundreds of cuts and then be resharpened again, which is a big advantage compared with the other method of cutting ferrous metal traditionally, which has been an abrasive wheel. They don't last a long time. The cuts are full of burrs, they're really hot, and they send out a plume of sparks that's liable to set just about anything on fire. The differences between a metal cutting chop saw and a wood cutting chop saw boil down to a few things. First of all, these saws turn slowly, like I've mentioned. You can see that looking at the blade. They also have a motor that's sealed against all of the shavings that these machines are going to generate, the metal shavings. Metal cutting chop saws are unique in a couple more ways. One is the way they hold the work that you're cutting. This is a hand crank that tightens up this clamp that holds the workpiece solid for every cut. And this fence here is adjustable too. Instead of swiveling the whole base of the saw like you would with a wood cutting saw, the fence moves and locks anywhere from 90 to 45 degrees. You've got to lock the workpiece in order for this operation to be safe. And that's why all saws like this have these features. But the real test in all this, the proof of how effective this is cutting. And that's what I want to show you now. The key to cutting successfully with these blades is to go at it slowly, but not too slow. This is what a good cut looks like. I've just made this cut, I've picked it up, and it's just the slightest bit warm. There's no burring, there's just a few little shards around the edges that you can clean up with a file or even some sandpaper. Metal cutting carbide blades are just one of dozens of different technological advancements that are making it easier, faster, and cheaper to do great things with your hands.